Good evening. I'd like to welcome you to the November meeting of the Farmington Board of Education. This time I'd like to call the meeting to order. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance and a moment of silence. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. This time I'd entertain a motion and a second to approve the agenda.
So moved.
Second. All's in favor? All's opposed, same sign? Okay. This time I'd entertain a motion to approve the minutes of October 18, 2022 of the regular board meeting, and a second.
So moved. Second.
All those in favor?
Abstain.
Okay. Communications will begin with a short introduction by Mr. Chad Mills.
We've got a celebration here this evening of our fall sports teams. 4 of the teams will be represented. You're going to meet some of our incredible coaches and outstanding student athletes. I know that I speak for our coaching staff, school board, when I tell you thank you for all that you do for us. The support that our athletic department gets is incredible from the administration and the school board. And there's a direct correlation with the success we have on the field and on the court and the support that we get from administration and our school board. So we want to thank you for that. We're going to start this situation out with our volleyball team and Coach Baker.
We would have more girls here tonight, but 3 of them are playing basketball in the jamboree. So I just want to start off by saying that we had a very successful volleyball season this year. We were 29-8-2, which tied the school's record for the most wins in a season. We ended the season playing in the Class 4 District 1 championship game, losing to St. Pius. So although we didn't get the outcome that we hoped for, our girls will achieve some amazing things this season, including winning the MAAA conference tournament, and also, even though we didn't make it past districts, we still ended ranked 7th in the state. So they had a lot of success, and we had a jam-packed top 3 teams in the state in our district. So it was unfortunate, but they still had a really super successful season. So 4 of our girls earned postseason honors. Jade Roth was all-conference first-team all-district, and we just found out yesterday that she was voted all-state. And she also earned the award of getting 1,000 kills this season. Grace Duncan was all-conference, first-team all-district, and she earned the award of 1,000 digs. Emily Bauer was second-team all-district. And here we have Jelena Gray. Jelena, since she's here, I'm going to talk a lot about her. Jelena is a 4-year varsity starter. She's a 6-rotation player, plays all the way around for me, and a team captain. She was all-conference, first-team all-district. We just found out that she also was voted 2-time all-state, and she also had 1,000 kills this season. And something that I don't think a lot of people, if you're not very familiar with volleyball, know that 1,000 kills in volleyball is something really, really hard to achieve. Not to discredit basketball at all, but you can earn 3 or 2 points every time you shoot the ball, but you have to get 1,000 kills in volleyball to earn that award. And usually when you see girls on teams get that award, it's usually because they have one main hitter that they set up a lot and gets to hit the ball a lot. And the fact that we had 2 players get that within a week of each other was unbelievable. And also, Jelena was 990 digs. So she was 10 away from also achieving 1,000 digs, which was a huge, huge accomplishment. So we are super, super proud of her. Our freshman program ended 12-1, and our JV ended 15-2, winning every tournament that they played in the season. So the future for our program is still super, super bright. And I just want to say that we saw a lot of our board members' faces at our games, especially Mr. Lawson working our table every game. So we appreciate that so much. And I just really want to express how thankful we are for your support this season. I am so fortunate to have girls that always show up and work hard. Our volleyball program starts our off-season in February. So these girls show up every time. I never have to ask them to come. They're at every off-season, every open gym, every weight training. And it requires a ton of dedication. And these girls just always put in the work, and their success shows that as well. So thank you very much. Thank you.
When the cross-country team is getting ready to go to state, both boys and girls, we did a big send-off. That was the first send-off that I got to be a part of. Just an incredible job. Lindy Southern does an outstanding job with that. And I was able to, they interviewed me towards the tail end of it, and I was able to tell my standard cross-country joke that I'm really proud of. I tried to congratulate the cross-country coaches on that, but I couldn't catch them. They were out running like 5 miles. Next up is Coach Stone, cross-country.
All right, kids, come on up. I guess just kind of go down this direction, and when I call your name, just step forward if you would, so these folks over here know which of you I'm talking about. Well, just so you guys know, when Chad stepped up here just a second ago, Coach McIntyre said, "Oh man, he's going to do that joke again." Take that one. So just a second, something that Coach Mills said earlier. Obviously, we always want to thank you guys, the school board, the support we get. Mr. Rubel, thank you for a lot of years of good leadership of this crew here. You'll certainly be missed going forward. And I want to offer my thanks as well to our new activities director, Chad, who has done a great job this year, taking over from Coach Bacon. Also, I just want to real quickly say thank you as well to my 3 assistant coaches, Coach McIntyre, Coach Gross, and Coach Akins. They certainly make the job that I do a whole lot easier, for sure. I'm going to start with my girls this year. When I call your name, just step forward and I will mention what you're here for. First, we have freshman Kate Reed. Kate is a state qualifier this year. Okay? Here we go. Let's kind of rotate this direction whenever we do that, so Kate, you can stay here and other people can fall in there next to you. I enjoy having large groups up here, just for sure. And then next, we have freshman Natalie Gammon. Natalie was also a state qualifier this year. Next, we have senior Gracie Bone. Gracie earned her first MAAA All-Conference recognition this year and was a state qualifier. Next, we have freshman Cayman McIntyre. I've been waiting for Cayman to arrive at high school cross country quite literally since the day we found out that Mrs. McIntyre was pregnant. This was exciting. Cayman this year was MAAA All-Conference and was also a state qualifier. Next, we have senior Aiden Moriarty. Aiden was MAAA All-Conference this year. She was All-District again this year and was a state qualifier. Next, we have junior Brooklyn Foreman. Brooklyn was MAAA All-Conference. She was All-District and was a state qualifier. And then lastly, we have senior Chloe Wood. Chloe was our girls team MVP. She was our top runner in 11 of the 12 meets we were in this year. She was MAAA All-Conference. She was All-District, and she was a state qualifier. This group of girls right here had a great season this year. From a team standpoint, they won their 5th consecutive MAAA Conference Championship. They qualified as a team for the state championships this year for the 4th consecutive year, which is really fantastic. And they placed 9th at the state championships this year, and they had a great race, and I couldn't be more proud of this group of girls. Sure, you guys can go ahead. Next, I'm going to recognize my boys team. First, I want to recognize senior Trent Galzinski. Trent is a state qualifier this year. Next up, he is not here tonight because he's at wrestling practice, but I want to recognize sophomore Nikolai Kane, who is also a state qualifier this year. I want to recognize senior Sam Knight. Sam was MAAA All-Conference this year and was a state qualifier. Next is junior Caden Kimbrough. Caden was MAAA All-Conference. He was All-District and was a state qualifier. Next we have Mason Currington. Mason was MAAA All-Conference. He was All-District and was a state qualifier. Next we have Caden Mungle. Caden was MAAA All-Conference. He was All-District and a state qualifier. And lastly, we have junior Evan Fuller. Evan is our boys team MVP. He was our #1 runner in all 12 meets this year. He was the MAAA individual conference champion. He was All-District, and he is also our lone athlete this year to earn all-state honors. Just a little bit about this boys team. It was a special group and ended up being far more special than I could have ever imagined when the season started. This year they won their 5th consecutive MAAA conference championship as a team. They qualified for state as a team for the 2nd year in a row. They placed 4th at state. That is particularly significant for us. Farmington started boys cross country in 1961. This was our first time getting a team on the podium at the state championships. And so that was a huge, huge thing for us. And I just to give these guys another tip of the cap, we finished 7th at state last year. We graduated, or we lost 4 of those 7. And we came back this year with 4 new faces and finished 4th at state. And that is something that I certainly will never forget. So I tip my cap to this group of kids right now.
Next up is girls tennis, Coach Cannon.
The next time I come up here, I want to joke about tennis, if you could. If you're going to have it for one, you can do that. First things first, I just want to thank the board again, kind of like what Coach Mills said. Thank you for everything you do. Thank you for Mr. Rubel for everything you've done. The school district put a lot of money into the tennis program this year. We got new benches, we got a new shed. Oh goodness, we got a few other things, and we couldn't have all those things as a small store without a small sport without the help of the board and Mr. Rubel. We're still waiting on those canopies, though, Mr. Rubel.
So on.
And the season for the girls tennis season was not necessarily what we wanted coming into the year. We had a lot of talent coming back from last year. A couple girls decided to go the academic route, focus on academics this year, so it kind of put our team a little bit behind the 8 ball. But all in all, the girls played their hearts out all season, and that's one thing that I really talked to them about all season, was just never give up, keep going, keep grinding, and it's going to play out the way it's supposed to play out. And the girl that I really want to recognize today is Abigail Thurman. Abby was selected all conference by the other coaches in our conference. One of the comments that the coaches said when we were voting, they said it's a hands down because Abby, she could play the best match or maybe not the best match, but she always has a smile on her face, and we knew that she was going to give her best effort every time that she stepped out on the court, and that's all I can ever ask from my tennis players. Abby was also selected the most valuable player on our team. The reason I gave her the most valuable player award is basically if you took her off the team, what would we be without her? And I'm not sure what we'd be without her. So it was definitely a welcomed and a well-deserved award for her. So again, thank you for everything you do. And as Mr. Rubel says, go Knights.
That's right. The final sport that we will be recognizing this evening will be softball, and Coach Wong. Apologize, I got tables here, but I want to recognize these girls for the great accomplishments they've had. So thank you, first of all, to the board, administration, athletic director, my assistant coaches, Allison Tingle, and Michael Lamb, our parents. The community support's been awesome for our team, and I feel like it's just continued to grow the 4 years that I've been here. This season, we finished with a record of 28-11. Our previous record for wins in a season was 21 of going into last year. We had 30 last year, 28 this year. We were first time ever CMO conference champions since we joined the conference 5 years ago with an undefeated season. We did finish second districts, which still hurts. We lost to Cape Notre Dame in the finals, but we did beat them twice during the year, so it's always hard to beat a good team 3 times in a year, and I'll just take that's what happened to us. But they did finish the season 26-5 and ranked 4th in Class 4, and we still finished ranked 9th in Class 4 in the final ranking, so we've got a lot of respect from everyone across the state. We put together one of the toughest schedules that I've ever coached because we wanted to play the best teams. I feel like we were one of the best teams in the state. So of our 11 losses, 9 of those teams had 20 or more wins. And we played in the Jeff City tournament, and out of the 16 teams there, 9 of them were ranked in state in some class. At that tournament, we beat, I guess it was Marston was the name, but they were the Class 2 state champion. And then in our Rockwood tournament that we faced 2 teams that were ranked in the nation, Columbia Rockbridge and Blue Springs South. Columbia Rockbridge beat us 5-2. We were in the game the whole way. They finished, I think it was 39-2 on the season, so we played some really good competition. As far as the team goes, this is the best off-the-field team I've ever coached. It's so much easier to coach when you've got good kids, and that's a testament to the parents, that's a testament to the coaches and the teachers and everybody that's raising them up. That just makes our job as coaches a lot easier. The goal of this team, of course, is to be back in the state playoffs and make a run for a state championship. This group of seniors is the winningest group of seniors in Farmington softball history. They compiled 96 wins in 4 years, which is very impressive. And I want to introduce them because they are conference champions. So seniors, we've got Angelia Davis, Savannah Ketcherside, Anna McKinney, Abby Miller, Lucy Riesinger, Elizabeth Prahala, Olivia Sherrill. Girls can step forward and clear if you want to. Juniors, Shelby Bowling, Avery Graham, Jocelyn Grimes, JC Jarvis, Jaden Tucker. Sophomores, Emily Gillum, Olivia Hartby, Ellie Robbins, Lily Stopp, and freshman Audrey Morgan. So postseason awards, this group was filled with awards for conference, all conference. We had more players than anyone in the conference, which we deserve that by winning the conference. First team was Shelby Bowling, Avery Graham, Angelia Davis, Ellie Robbins, and Jaden Tucker, and second team was JC Jarvis. All district, we had quite a few again on that. First team was Shelby Bowling, Avery Graham, Angelia Davis, JC Jarvis, Ellie Robbins, Jaden Tucker, and the second team was Lucy Riesinger. All region, first team, we had Shelby Bowling, Angelia Davis, Ellie Robbins, Jaden Tucker. The second team was JC Jarvis. And then this is only the 4th year that I've ever been able to say that we've had 4 all-state players. So we did have 4 all-state players. Second team was Shelby Bowling, Angelia Davis, Jaden Tucker, and Ellie Robbins. So give them. This week that Ellie Robbins was actually second team for the National Fast Pitch Coach Association All-Region team. So it's a very big honor. This year we set, I think, 3 different state records for at-bats in the season, extra base hits in the season, and I forgot what I told you last night. I didn't write it down. We had another one that was placed the state record for all the years that they've had softball in Missouri. For team records here, we've got some records that were set this year already. Jaden Tucker already set the career doubles record as a junior. Angelia Davis, I've got a list here of her accomplishments over her career. So she is the career home run leader in
with 32 career home runs. She tied the home run season record for 12, which was a long time, but that's been up there. Runs, her career record's 151 runs. She was second in stolen bases with 46, sixth in average with 393 average over 4 years, fifth in hits with 140 hits, fifth in triples, 5, third in RBIs with 135. And she was one of those players that as a freshman, some people question why we put her in there, and you can kind of see why we put her in there. She was a 4-year starter for us. Ellie Robbins had one of the best seasons that I've ever been a part of from a player. She set records for season for our school of hits with 67, doubles with 23, triples with 9, total bases of 139, and extra base hits of 43. She actually had as many doubles as she had singles. The career record she's already set for triples, and then she also set a state record for extra base hits in a season. She's second for doubles in a season, second for total bases in a season, and fifth in hits in a season. So we can compliment to those girls. So as most of you know, after 28 years, I'm retiring from education, and I want to take this opportunity to say how grateful I am to be a part of this district. The community support, the administration support, the school board, athletic director. Being a Central graduate, teaching and coaching there for 24 years, I didn't think I could ever wear a Farmington shirt. And coming to the dark side was a tough thing. Did get a lot of razzing from my colleagues, but I can't tell you how proud I am to have had the opportunity to be a part of the program, part of this district, the athletic department. And I just want to publicly say thank you to the board, administration for allowing me to still teach at Central and coach here. I was here, you can do that. That's always a common thing with that, but it's been a great thing for me. And it's truly been a blessing and something I'll cherish forever. So nothing but total positive things to say about coming over here, and I appreciate it.
This time I'd like to call the lectern Ms. Jenna Hammond from Roosevelt for the Heartland Hero Feature Teacher Award.
Good evening. Roosevelt is blessed to present both our feature teacher and our Heartland Hero this evening. We appreciate the opportunity to do so. Can we give them just a minute, please? It's a little disheartening to step up here and see everyone. Right. I promise it's short. I retract my previous statement. It's much nicer with this view. We will start with our featured teacher this evening. Mrs. Armstrong has been an asset to the Farmington School District since she began as a third grade teacher in 2013. I've had the pleasure of working with her in various positions throughout my career. She's driven, organized, and a professional teacher who develops inspiring relationships with her students and her colleagues. She has always been motivated to challenge herself. She was on board as a virtual educator during our COVID pandemic, and then moved to an in-person reading teacher where she saw a need and has excelled. She is a willing teammate, be it curriculum committees or assessment writing, you can always count on her. She has spent the last several years representing her peers as a member of the professional growth community, that's her teacher leadership community. She embraces any opportunity for professional development, which makes her an ideal leader. However, her ability to translate her learning into palatable learning experiences for her peers ensures that her leadership is effective. She accomplishes all these tasks with great initiative and a positive attitude, and is without hesitation and great pleasure that I introduce to you Mrs. Rachel Armstrong, our future teacher. When we were asked to consider our Heartland hero, I was in awe of how many community members that have blessed Roosevelt over the last couple of years. While it was difficult to choose just one person did stand out and clearly represents a definitive Heartland hero. Heartland heroes are said to be agents of change and positively benefiting others in our district, someone who goes above and beyond. Sherry Colley, along with the rest of the Upward Smiles team, have provided our students with free dental screenings, fluoride treatments, and dental services such as cleanings, x-rays, extractions, and fillings for the last several years. This year, Roosevelt was lucky enough to be one of the first schools that got to utilize the mobile clinic. The van was parked at Roosevelt for several weeks as hundreds of students from Lincoln, Middle, and Roosevelt were fortunate enough to receive the benefits of dental services. The relationship between Sherry Colley, Upward Smiles, and the Farmington School District and epitomizes our dreams of supporting the needs of the whole child and how it can look in a very practical manner. Roosevelt could not have chosen a more deserving candidate for our 2022-23 Heartland Hero. Please join me in recognizing Mrs. Sherry Colley. I did have to bribe her to come.
If I could just say thank you to the Board of Education, and also Matt Rubel, Mr. Rubel, and to Dr. Krause, because we couldn't do this if it wasn't for you. Your belief that oral health is important and that the kids need a healthy smile, you know, it starts from the top and it goes to the bottom. And it's because of your belief that we're doing this. And it's, well, I can tell you, your nurses and your administrators, you're going above and beyond with this. When we're in a school, the nurses are doing so much with getting the kids in and out of mobile, taking care of them when we bring them back after. We're wiggling out teeth, or we're doing fillings and giving them that extra touch. It's wonderful. And while I'm reaching out to the parents, that's what I'm telling them. You know, while they're thanking me, and you know, I have a wonderful staff I work with, and our, you know, my board that I have, they all believe in us 100%. But then I tell them they need to believe in the school as well, because we wouldn't be here if it wasn't for you guys. So thank you. Together, we're making the difference. So thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Sherry. To draw your attention to the informational items in your packet, we will hear a presentation of the district strategic plan in its draft form from Dr. Ashley Krause. Okay, then we'll sit down to, we'll hear from Ms. Amanda Sullivan and the principals regarding the building performance updates.
Good evening. Thank you for the opportunity to share both successes and areas of growth at Washington Franklin. As outlined in the presentation, cumulatively at the building level, Washington Franklin scored above the state average for both 3rd and 4th grade ELA and math. As a whole, Washington Franklin earned scores totaling 49.1% for both 3rd and 4th grade ELA, which was above the state average in reading of 42.85%. In math, Washington Franklin earned scores totaling 54.6%, which was also above the state average of 41.5%. Areas of growth for Washington Franklin were shown in the area of 3rd grade ELA. 3rd graders at Washington Franklin earned scores totaling 37.3%, which was 4.1% less than the state average of 41.4%. In order to both continue the growth shown in areas above state average and address gaps in student achievement, Washington Franklin will continue weekly grade level and content area collaboration in order to build collective teacher efficacy through the analysis of student data and understanding of the database decision-making process in order to support student growth and achievement by closing gaps in student learning and development. Washington Franklin has established quarterly building improvement goals that focus on academics, attendance, and behavior. SMART goals were determined to focus on a specific plan for each area and definitive ways to continually monitor our progress toward each growth goal. These goals include the introduction of the Missouri Reading Initiative in 4th grade, LETTERS, the science of reading for grades 1 through 3, DACL, developing assessment-capable learners in all grade levels, and an intentional focus on closing the gap between the school and home connection of attendance, student discipline, and student achievement.
Thank you.
Roosevelt is near the state averages and above in math, and above the state averages in ELA. These are huge celebrations, especially compared to last year's data. We are actually working diligently to close the achievement gap. We improved 13% in our math scores, which is huge in just one short year. We're celebrating growth, looking forward to implementing additional supportive services, including the math interventionist to target our area of growth, which would be our math. As a building, we are working to maintain our focuses on behavior expectations and the implementation of the systemic behavior management system that proactively supports the development of the whole child. We have a building improvement plan that does address both academic and social emotional goals. Our primary building goals would be developing and supporting instructional practices that ensure the growth in both reading and math. We intend to do that by utilizing our building leadership team, intentional professional development, strategic monitoring of our core practices, and then the supportive intervention services for students who are below grade level. We do believe that this will continue to prove to be effective as we work to close those achievement gaps.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys, for having me. When it comes to Jefferson, our celebrations, we're above the state average in 3rd and 4th grade reading and math. So I feel like that's it was that way last year, but I feel like just to be able to sustain that is big. In addition, 4th grade math, we came in at about 25 percentage points higher than the state average there. So I thought that was a really big success for our 4th grade math department. And then just reflecting upon, the data that we had here, just continuing to build and, just sustain the collaborative teams and discuss student progress data and just being able to continue to implement instructional strategies that are research-based and proven to work. Some of the action steps, again, for this school year, we just want to sustain and we want to improve the consistency with creating that clear picture for students for what learning actually looks like and feels like. We want to do that with rubrics. We want to do that with scoring guides. Anything that we can help create that picture of what success is supposed to look like for students. In addition, we want to build and sustain partnerships with you guys, with the community, because we know we need you guys very much. We've had several community events just to kind of build that partnership coming out of COVID. And I really feel like doing that is going to help build and sustain that positive climate and culture that's going to help our students, feel safe and be willing to take risks when, conducting when they're, attempting to learn. So I really feel confident about, us moving forward at Jefferson. We really got some really, standout teachers that really work extremely hard to support students here in Farmington School District. So appreciate it.
Thank you.
Hi, guys. Thanks for having us tonight to talk about this. I think data is obviously really important for anyone in the district. We want to make movement, we want to make progress. And Lincoln is no different. There isn't a building up here that would disagree. But I think that when I look at our data specifically, we were almost above state average in every area. But I always look for, well, but what's that one little thing, what's missing here? And, 5th grade's a transition year. So this has been a topic for our building, well, before I was there, 5th grade's transition is hard. So for the last year, maybe a little longer, since I have been at Lincoln, we talked about what can we do to make that culture of 5th grade not seem like such a transition. So while the academic data is really important, the teams at Lincoln, my team at Lincoln, we've been talking a lot about how do we just make them feel like this is just another home for them. It's, they are leaving an elementary that they've been at for several years, and then they're plopped into a new world. So that's something that we're trying to problem solve right now. As far as academics go, Lincoln has structured intervention time where some of our academic gaps that are maybe not grade level standards, what do we do about those academic gaps? We can't leave them alone and just hope that they figure it out along the way. So our intervention is very structured, very intentional. We look at all of those, 2 or 3 years behind skills. What can we do to help them with that? And then when we talk about our actual core classes, we're focusing on research-based practices. And anything and everything we do at Lincoln is focused on that. So I hope, and I want to say that, we have Window 2 for iReady coming up, and it's a really big push so that we can look at see some of those strategies are working just for that short-term data, but I hope to see that long-term data helps with our state as well. And thank you again for having us here.
Thank you.
So for the middle school, thank you, as Tiffany said, for your guys' support and all the things that you do, the things that you do for our academics. Help us do the things that we're telling you about, and I know they're just words and you guys don't get to see the behind the action piece of that. So for the middle school, both ELA and math scored above the state average in 7th and 8th grade. Our building is very proud of that, and we've been able to do that for multiple years in a row. But one of the things that we're very proud at is whenever I first got here is math was a little bit of a struggle, and we've worked very hard at that, and our 8th grade math is 26% above the state average this year. So that's something that they are very proud of. Also, we are consistently above in the state average in science, and they take the math test in science in 5th grade, and they don't take it again until 8th grade. So they have 3 years where they don't take it and they're not assessed. And for that's a testament to Lincoln to 5th, 6th, 7th, and then again to 8th grade, where we're able to consistently still be above the state average when you're not assessed every year, and that accountability is not there. So, but each year, students' needs and behaviors continue to need more support. Sometimes that can take focus away from academics. So I'm very proud of the middle school. I'm very proud of our staff that they're able to balance both of those things, because sometimes one of those can become, more prevalent than the other. So, as we, like I said, as we continue to come back from COVID and experience those things, I'm glad that our teachers are able to continue to have a strong focus on academics. Some things that we're going to look at, we're going to continue to look at student goal setting, which is standard 2.2, as part of our DCI program and our PGC. So we're going to continue to do that, database decision making. This helps improve our building assessment scores. Helps us focus. Students are goal setting, taking action steps, looking at what are the best research practices, reteaching, reassessing, and how are we growing. Specifically what we're going to look at, as I said whenever I got here, math was a focus. We're going to now shift our focus, not forget math, but look at ELA. As part of the NCIP, you have to show growth. And our ELA is above state average, but we're not necessarily showing sustained growth. So Mrs. Sullivan is working with myself, our ELA department, and working specifically around the standard of reading informational text and reading literature text. You can't just write a paper and say, well, I think this is what you should do, and use your opinion. You have to be able to support it with evidence, analyze, infer, and do those things. So we're writing student learning outcomes, and the teachers are doing that then for students to show mastery, specifically around that standard, because that is the largest standard that is assessed in iReady and in math, and those two things correlate. So we're going to be able to use that data to continue to make improvements. So thank you very much.
Thank you.
We really have to switch the order. Just 1 year, so I can go first. But I'd like to thank you for listening to us tonight. It's so exciting to see all the things that our buildings can accomplish. Education's been interesting the past 5 years. You can't, correct, it's only been 2. Since 2020. not that we can use that as an excuse, feels like 5, but it has altered a little bit the way we have to approach things for sure. So that's why the high school is unbelievably proud that we scored above the state average in all subject areas. We were able to accomplish that, and our teachers really celebrated that, because even during the process of taking the EOC, they just were very worried about that and working hard to make that happen, and so that was exciting. And an even bigger celebration is that ELA 2 and Algebra 1 were nearly 15% above the state average. And that is a very strong foundation for our students as they move forward. You know, EOC is important, testing is important, but the true accomplishment is the learning that is gained so that you can advance further on into your high school courses and be successful in high school and after high school. And this is not on there, but ACT score, state average has kind of decreased, which I think is very telling that the ACT state average is 19.3 now, but the high school, our state average is 21. So we were very pleased to see that happen. A little sad that the state average is going down, because that kind of shows you the struggles that students across our state are having, but we were pleased to be above the state average. Some of our action steps this year, we have academic labs in place. I think the biggest goal is to help those students that are just about there, that just need that extra push. And we have had academic labs, but our ELA academic lab was not as intentional as it could have been last year. So working with Amanda Sullivan, we purchased iReady, and now we're using that to assess our students and to make sure that we are placing the right students in academic lab. And Ms. Amy Martin is working hard to do good things in that lab and to help as many students as she can accomplish success. And it's just definitely more intensive this year, so we're pretty proud of that. And I think for our biggest action step, I think Ms. Mosier might have said it, ours is to focus on effective teaching. Because that core instruction, Dr. Krause has said it to me 1,000 times, if you're having these issues, it's the core instruction that you need to fix. So we're going to continue to focus on effective learning, teaching and learning, and we'll work toward giving more effective feedback to students where they are in relation to standards and targets, and clarifying those learning targets and making them owners in their learning so that they can understand what purpose all of it serves. So that is what the high school plans to do.
Thank you. This time we'll hear from Dr. Ashley Krause regarding the draft of the district's strategic plan.
You have a draft in front of you, and I believe the draft came quite a few months ago. It looks very skeletal in nature, so basically what I'm talking about you tonight is the huge document that you will be getting next month. So there is an expanded version of the CSIP, which is a Comprehensive School Improvement Plan. As you heard, Ms. Sullivan probably talked to you about last month, with MSIP 6 being finally approved and all of the things in work with the Missouri School Improvement Plan, you now need to look at your comprehensive school improvement plan and work on what your strategic goals will be in the future. So that is our anywhere from 3 to 5 year plan. It's a lot of long range planning that we're doing. So everything that you will start to see is going to be broken out in big, broad goals with action steps attached to it. There are several committee groups that have been working on this, and you will continue to see that. Part of what the state of Missouri has done this year, which I really like, is that they're telling you that you have to have a ton of different parties involved in the creation of this, and it's very ongoing. The board itself has to charge us with certain goals that you would like to see in moving forward, whether it's with fiscal responsibility or whether it comes to facility use or whatever it is that you choose, and we'll be coming to you for those things as well. There are counseling advisory groups, there are subcommittees in future focused, in connectiveness and community connectiveness. We will be coming back to you with kind of a final draft proposal for you to look at, and again, it's something that can be tweaked for the next couple of months. Wanted you to know that we do have those subcommittees meeting quite often, and several of you will be asked to be on those subcommittees. So to let you know, there's a lot of crossover with people that have invited you because they feel that it is very important that you sit on these committees. So when something is important to them and they want something done, they are going to invite board members to sit on that. So you will probably get a wealth of invites to come and sit on committees and put your opinion forward as parents and students. Some of the different ways in which we approached it this last time was to put out a form and say, any parent that wants to be involved in any of these subcommittees, please contact. And so we took anybody that wanted to participate in that, had some pretty good turnout with that, and great conversation and dialogue. So a little different, but we will be coming to you with an expanded version. Look forward to that, and then we'll move forward with the goals.
I think that Mrs. Turner has the handouts for me. Do you want the handouts for me?
No.
Committees? Yeah.
Oh, yeah, for later. So I think we have a crossover that if you have a committee that you prefer over another one and you can't make it to 19 committees, then you'll be able to sign up for one or two. But not that you would be rude to anyone and take yourself off of that committee, but we also know that you can only attend so much. So there's that.
Thank you, Dr. Kraus.
You're welcome.
Under discussion and action items, I would entertain a motion and a second to approve the consensual agenda.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor? All those opposed, same sign. Okay. This time I'd entertain a motion to adjourn to closed session.
I make a motion to adjourn to closed session to discuss personnel pursuant to 610.021, paragraphs 1, 3, 13, and 14.
Second.
Han,
Yes.
Kane,
Yes.
Howard,
Yes.
Lawson,
Yes.
Noble,
Yes.
Bowkey.
Yes. Okay, thank you, everyone.